According to the Bible's book of Genesis, all men were corrupted during Noah's time, and God decided to destroy his creation with a great flood. The wickedness of men led to the elimination of all living things on earth. With Noah's faith, God instructed Noah to make an ark out of gopher wood consisting of 3 decks and to build rooms in the ark. The entire ark was to be covered with pitch on the inside and outside, and it had to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. All kinds of animals and insects were gathered, each according to its kind. 7 pairs of each clean kind of animal, and 1 pair of each unclean kind were brought onto the ark. Noah and the animals entered the ark as instructed by God, while the others carried on with their everyday routine and daily lives, unaware of the events to come. Soon, a catastrophic flood destroyed the earth. The ark was the only rescue in this great flood. On the 17th day of the 7th month, the ark rested on the mountains of Ararat, and God placed a rainbow in the sky, vowing to never again send a flood to destroy the earth.
Chapter 1 of the book of Genesis is one of the most mythical chapters in the Bible.
God instructs Noah to build an ark.
It raises an unsolved historical mystery.
The ark rested on the mountains of Ararat.
And then we found some ropes. The discovery of a wood fragment is encouraging.
In 2009, a stunning discovery in the remote regions of Mount Ararat pointed researchers back to the source of history.
If this is not Noah's Ark, then I don't know what it is.
Many people have come here in search of Noah's Ark over the years, but this is the first serious research, and the team found something very different. They are the first team to find the wooden structure buried under the ice on Mount Ararat. This is going to be a very serious foundation. A strong base for researchers for a great many years to come.
I think all archaeologists would acknowledge that this is something of a completely different level of evidence than anything that's been presented in modern times.
The permanent snow line on Mount Ararat is currently located at around 3,900 meters. The wooden structure that was discovered by the research team was quite high up on the mountain, roughly at an altitude of 4,000 meters above sea level. At that height, the temperature is very cold, so the instance of the wooden structure found embedded in volcanic material and preserved in sediment is believed to have diverged from the glacier. Glacial deposits could have preserved the structure as it's buried under the glacier.
The video footage was very impressive.
This discovery transcends searching for history. This discovery is history.
This highly controversial discovery could rewrite the history of mankind.
Both the flood and the ark happened during the times of an ancient civilization. They were both a sign and a miracle that God revealed to man.
Can we explain a paranormal miracle with scientific explanations? Can we find evidence to support the existence of the Ark today?
An unprecedented exploration, one unlike any other.
7 years of perseverance on a thrilling mission. In times of calamity, a sign is revealed to us, something that is even more important than the discovery of the Ark. Dobeyazet, a small town located on the border of eastern Turkey, has been regarded as base camp for many Ark explorers throughout the years.
When I think of this 7-year search for the Ark, while it has been adventurous, it has also been a lonely road. Throughout this journey, I feel like an invisible hand has been leading us forward. I still remember my 2004 visit to Dobeyazet. I was there to gather research and film documentary clips for the Noah's Ark attraction in the Marwan Park. Initially, a group of American scientists had planned quite a large-scale expedition to search for the Ark, and we were going to join them. However, they weren't able to obtain the permits, and we got them instead. Therefore, we went by ourselves. It was on that trip that we came to know Ahmet, also known as Parasit.
Ahmet Ertugrul grew up in Dobeyazet. He has been fascinated with the stories of the Ark since he was young. He has climbed up the mountain over 200 times, and he's also the leader of the rescue team.
During the peak of the exploration days in the 1980s, explorers from around the world came to Mount Ararat in the summer season to search for the Ark or Ark-related evidence. Parasit was their guide, but unbeknownst to them, he was also secretly looking for the Ark himself.
In October 2004, according to information provided by the locals, the Hong Kong expedition team went on its first expedition and hiked up to over 4,000 meters above sea level.
Mount Ararat is a wonderland for many explorers, but underneath the wonder, it's also a tomb. Many people never manage to return home after embarking on their journey in search of the Ark.
Those explorers who were able to return home safely wrote thrilling accounts about their experience.
The locals call Mount Ararat the Mountain of Pain, as the area is prone to natural disasters. Earthquakes, avalanches, lightning strikes and snowstorms can happen any time without any warning. The thin air up on the mountain range and its steep cliffs make it a physical and psychological challenge for climbers.
Together with the Turkish team, the Hong Kong expedition team climbed up to 4,200 meters above sea level for the first time. The team had to bear with the ill and unpredictable weather and the symptoms of high altitude sickness that the Mountain of Pain brought them.
During the toughest times of the expedition, the members of the team were blessed and guided by God.
They finally made it beyond the snow line, which was at 4,200 meters above sea level, and discovered something inside an ice cave. The object was flat and nestled in a thin layer of ice. The layer beneath the ice was filled with water, and one could vaguely see a dark wooden substance through the thin ice.
However, the thin ice beneath the cave was not able to support the weight of the team, and as the water in the cave was deep, our team, who didn't have adequate equipment, was asked to stop the expedition as worsening weather rolled in.
We experienced God's miracle in the mountain. And the things we discovered, the things we filmed there, not only were they exhibited in Marwan Park, but the experiences we had during our search for the Ark also changed the lives of many people when the South Asian tsunami hit the region. However, many people don't believe that Noah's Ark exists. They don't regard it as history. And they disregard the lessons it teaches us. So I always felt that I was fighting this battle by myself. But then, at this juncture, the first person who crossed my path and shared my belief appeared in front of me.
The story of a great flood destroying the Earth is told in many cultures. Though the details are slightly different, they do, however, share similar elements, such as God revealing signs. A few people picked up on them. So they knew the flood was coming, and they boarded a life-saving boat with animals and escaped the catastrophe.
Mount Ararat is located near Turkey's eastern border and is home to many Kurdish people. It also lies close to the borders of Armenia and Iran.
Ancient Persians called this mountain Kuinu, which means the mountain of Noah.
Ancient Armenians called Mount Ararat Masis Lusa, which means the mountain of the Ark.
In modern Armenian language, the term Masis has evolved to mean the mother of the earth.
Just 90 kilometers from Mount Ararat lies Nakhchivan in Azerbaijan, previously under Soviet rule. It was called a Pobetarian in the ancient times, which means landing place.
And its modern name, Nakhchivan, carries a similar meaning. It means the first place of settlement. The legend of Noah's Ark being on Mount Ararat is different from any other legends or myths about the Great Flood, because these accounts aren't only mentioned in the Bible, but they are also evident in historical texts and writings. Since the ancient times from 275 BC to 6 AD, historians from Babylonia, ancient Greece, the Roman Empire, and a Spanish archbishop wrote accounts that mention Noah's Ark resting on Mount Ararat. All these sources state the existence of the Ark and the precise location of its final resting place.
Over hundreds and thousands of years, the silent mountains witnessed the passing footprints of civilizations, empires that rose and fell, terrifying battles, and the shifting of national borders.
However, did the more distant history of the Ark leave any traces behind on its soil?
In August 2006, the Turkish expedition team made a remarkable discovery.
They climbed up to a cave on the northern face of Mount Ararat, and at over 4,000 meters they found a structure which appeared to be a wooden wall and collected samples.
3 months later, the petrographic examinations conducted by the Applied Geoscience Center of the Department of Earth Sciences of the Hong Kong University confirmed that the sample was petrified wood.
This discovery urged the Chinese expedition team to join forces with Turkish researchers, forming a science expedition team. The members included Andrew Yun and Yuen-Wing Chung from Hong Kong, Turkish archaeologist Dr. Özlem Servik, geologist Dr. Ahmet Özbek, together with an experienced 12-man Turkish expedition team led by Parasert.
In February 2007, during midwinter, the team launched their first expedition in the extreme cold and attempted to travel to the expedition site on the mountain.
The original 5-day trip was disrupted and delayed many times due to bad weather. However, they kept at it and pushed through.
I remember that we were in a snowstorm, a really huge snowstorm, and there was nothing that we could do. But after we started praying, quickly, within a few minutes, something truly incredible happened right before our eyes. I saw the overcast skies over the mountain suddenly become bright and sunny. When we returned, the people at the foot of the mountain told us that the entire city had been hit by a big snowstorm. They described that it was as if there was a big hole in the sky and a big light illuminating the place on the mountain that we were going to. This special praying experience was like a preparation and training for us all, so that we could be prepared for a much bigger miracle.
In the end, the team successfully entered the cave where they discovered a petrified wooden wall. The wall measured 2.6 meters high and 11.5 meters wide.
The findings of this expedition were highly regarded by the Turkish government. The Hong Kong team was recognized for their efforts and they were permitted to further their explorations.
The discovery of the wooden wall was definitely a very significant milestone. But we wondered if there were any other wood specimens. We looked for further witness accounts and continued our search.
The locals believe that the ark, which was initially intact, was broken into 3 segments during the earthquake of 1840. The segments were scattered over 3 unknown locations.
The hidden locations of the lost ark have become targets for many explorers in recent years.
For nearly 2 centuries, people have claimed that they had witnessed or even entered a giant man-made wooden structure located on Mount Ararat, and among them there are a few well-known Ark explorers.
In 1955, Fernand Navarre, a French explorer, and his 12-year-old son, Raphael, climbed up to 4,200 meters on Mount Ararat. He reportedly found a wooden structure buried in the mountain, and he chopped off a 5-foot wooden beam from it.
In 1969, an American Ark explorer, Alfred Lee, joined forces with a group of South Pole researchers and traveled with French explorer Fernand Navarre. They returned to the site where he had discovered the wooden structure in 1955. They located the same wooden beam Navarre had found 40